Whenever.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dialogue with Khuraira. If you're new to this platform, Dialogue with Khuraira is a platform for who we call the unsung heroes. Who are the unsung heroes? Unsung heroes are individuals doing incredible things in their various communities for the betterment of their community or in humanity as a whole. They might be doing such amazing things and the spotlight is not on them, so you may not know or hear of what their activities are about, but they are definitely touching lives, and we usually bring them in so that they can share their story, and hopefully their story will inspire you, and so that you can start doing something also positive in your own community, so that we can start changing lives one community at a time, one town, one city, one state, one country, and hopefully globally, as long as we are touching lives positively. This week is different. I am invited, we all know that there's a protest going on in Nigeria about end bad governance. So we have invited some few of them. We're going to have a series of interviews on the different participants or those that were the insiders or know much about it or are also concerned citizens to share their insight why they felt that the need to do the end bad governance protest or not to be part of it. So we want to hear from both sides and also learn a thing or two. So today we have Haris Sidi and Bashir Mohammed RANCCAS. And I will have each one of them to introduce themselves, and then we'll go into the question. We have one other person who is Jacob. I don't know if he's having network issues from Jos, who knows, because I heard that there's a lot of network issues. We were supposed to even have one of Mubarak also on, but Alhaji Mubarak, but a network has been an issue as well. So we have Haris Sidi and Bashir Mohammed RANCCAS here. And please, Haris, you introduce yourself and then you RANCCAS, and before we go on to, doing the interviews. Welcome to Dialogue with Khuraira, all of you.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Haris Sidi. I'm a journalist. I work in the nation's capital, the Abuja, FCT. It's a pleasure being here.
Welcome, welcome. So, RANCCAS, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Bashir Mohammed RANCCAS, and I'm a teacher and as well as an advocate for good governance, protection, as well as environmental management. Thank you for having me here.
Being a teacher
As well as mommy's son.
Exactly. Well, welcome both of you. And Rufai, I'm sure you're trying to get Mr. Jacob to join us as well, but we're not going to waste time. Let's start. So it's been really, I hope you are all safe, your family, your friends, and your neighbors, or everyone is okay, your community is okay. It's been really heart-wrenching to see, from trying to do a peaceful protest to many destructions, you know, and also hearing some of the stories of the people talking about how life has been really tough on them, and it's a mixed emotion. You see those properties being destroyed, hardworking individuals, and also hearing other people. There's the reason why they broke in and stole something is because they have no way of surviving. So Haris, tell us what prompted you to be for or against the protest, because I will assume here maybe you are for or you're against it. That's why I'm asking that. So from your response, we will understand the people you're at.
Well, actually, as a journalist, I wasn't really pro or against it.
Yeah.
Was more like an observer. We monitored the situation and we followed the events that are happening, what caused it, and the actual protest that it was going on, most especially here in the nation's capital, here in Abuja. I was out on the first day of the protest. I saw the situation on ground, and I went about some locations, and we saw what happened. So when talking about the protest, what actually caused it was it's an open knowledge. Like, since the removal of the fuel subsidy regime by the president on his first day, on the day of his inauguration, like, prices have gone up in Nigeria. The price of everything has nearly tripled, if not more. And coupled with the rising inflation, like, prices went crazy. Like, everything cost triple, and there's been a lot of complaints by the average citizen. Like, what you usually used to buy for 5,000 tomorrow might be triple the price, and the money is scarce, and there's actually hunger in the land due to, like, farm products, even the ones farmed within the country, they are really expensive due to this, this insecurity, and most farmers have quit. Like, most rural areas are like the farmlands there. You can hardly even go there and farm due to insecurity, being kidnapped by bandits and all that. So things have not really been funny. So you could understand the vexation of the average citizen.
Yeah.
And coupled with that, they've been saying they want to protest. But if you remember, the federal government was scared of recent happenings within countries around Nigeria, where protests led to coups in some places, like, for example, Sudan. A protest led to the situation it is right now, gradually. And it's now facing a kind of civil war here in Sudan. So, coupled with these issues, and most countries undergoing coup, the federal government got scared that protest. And if you remember, there was this NSAS protest that happened under the last administration, which ended in violence and lots of mayhem all over the chaos and lots over the country. So the federal government got scared that if protests were allowed by people who, as it said, the protesters are faceless, they are not like an organization that you could pinpoint. So it was, although it did not say don't hold the protest, it gave recommendation of conditions to be filled before you do the protest, like knowing there are people holding and all that. But despite that, the people still went ahead to hold the protest, and unfortunately, what the federal government was scared of, it happened in some states. We saw it. There was violence in Kano, Borno, looting, lots of looting. Some people, you might even call them protesters. Some hoodlums just took advantage of the situation to just perpetrate mayhem all over the country, or most states or in your country. Most people in Kano, there was a lot of case of looting, vandalization. Even here in Abuja, there are some pockets of rowdy sessions, clashes with the security personnel who dispersed them with tear gas, and all that. And there are some isolated cases of looting in the nation's capital, but it wasn't really as aggravated in the other states, like in the northern states, most especially. So basically, in a nutshell, that's what really happened.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll get to the next question, but let me hear from RANCCAS. So, RANCCAS, what was your stand before it, or what did you feel would have been the best way, or is it the right way to do in regard to the protest?
Yeah, like Harry said, protest is a way of seeking for or expression of displeasure over things that has been happening in the country, which we all knew is not an issue that we would deliberate on. We know that there is a lot of things going on in the land. People are hungry, and so many things. But honestly speaking, for me, like you say, what do I think should have been the best way to go about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In the first place, we need to understand what a protest is all about. Protest initially is a Latin word which originated from the Latin word called protestare. And this protestare means to declare publicly. for or against something.
Yeah.
So if you are going to do something publicly, then there are certain things you need to adopt. One, like I always said, if you are going to protest, then you should have certain features. Protest has certain features. Features of protest is you should have strong leadership. Strong leadership in the whole country or in the particular community that you intend to do it. Secondly, you should have a specified time and a venue where you will canvass. Thirdly, you should have a specified objective. When I say objectives, I mean objectives that are achievable, objectives that can be achieved. Okay, if you said you don't like removal of fuel subsidy, then this is something achievable. Of course, you can table your argument before the president that, Mr. President, this subsidy you are removing is for all of us Nigerians. You are doing it to better our life. If that is it, then please, we want you to have a rethink over it and return it because we don't need it. This is achievable objective. But if you say the president must go, then I don't think in this regard you are working toward achieving the objective. I hope you are getting me, ma.
Yeah.
So, in view of this, if at all a protest will be organized of such kind, then the protest should try as much as possible to meet up the criteria that is needed by a good or a peaceful protest. Take into cognizance, if we are discussing the type of a protest, it has never been a protest on its own as a word. We have about 6 or 7 types of protest, which we said one, it can be marches, it can be demonstration, it can be boycotting, it can be sit at home, it can be picketing, it can be peaceful protest. So the word peaceful is attached to the protest.
So that
So
is what was advocated on with this protest, right? It was supposed to be a peaceful protest. This one.
Yes.
yes, you know what will turn it not to be peaceful is when you violated the principles of peaceful protest.
So there is a system you follow to create a peaceful protest. You're saying that
Yes.
you're saying what happened now wasn't followed. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I can say it wasn't followed because there is no consistency in the objectives that is required by the protesters.
Okay. So
Because people in Kano may be protesting with a different objective, and other people in Zamfara has different mission, and others in Maiduguri or Plateau has different one. Others are saying bad governance. Others are saying the president should resign. Others are saying we are hungry. So there is no clear cut dichotomy. There's no consistency.
But Harris, you that covered
Yes, ma'am.
it, were there not a list that I saw? There was a whole list of things that they needed to be achieved in order for them to stop the protest or whatever it was they're trying to do? I think there was a whole list of things, isn't it?
Yes, ma. There was a list of demands. The number one item of their list was the removal of the fuel subsidy, because it was the root cause of all the price hikes and whatnot. So that, I think, if I recall, it was the number one demand they made. The removal of fuel subsidy. They should return fuel subsidy back, because the fuel subsidy returning back, it will cause the price of fuel to go lower, which will in fact to the ripple effect on the rest of the prices of everything.
Yes.
So I think amongst that was the major list, and there are other demands which all boil down to one aspect: better governance, good governance, and all that. So those were their demands, but it was the manner the protest that was carried out that ended up a problem, because it ended up in violence.
They adding a different list or deviating from what the actual list is, but that's what RANCCAS is saying. This is what was started, and now we decided no more. Since we have seen a crowd, now we feel like we should even go further. We should remove the president. Is that what happened? Or was that part of the demands?
You could say the actual end bad governance protest, because there was the actual movement, the end bad governance, which I think was really only present in major states like Lagos and the nation's capital, Abuja. But what happened in other states, like most northern states, where, like my brother Bashir said here, different demands from different people, it wasn't really coordinated, like uniform. It became kind of discoordinated. So I think that's what he meant, and I noticed that aspect.
So the main people that planned the end bad governance now got a splinter, or like a different group that started their own different type of I'm getting confused.
Let me explain.
That, there was no talking among the leaders of the different states under the umbrella of the main organizers, or for example, if I'm thinking that if I'm going to organize a protest, right, and maybe I'm the one that came up with the idea or what have you, I will now bring somebody that will be the head from Sokoto, from Kano, from Kaduna, Ibadan, Lagos, what have you. We're all going to have a meeting, right? And then we all have the same objectives that we want to achieve. So you're saying they didn't do that?
Let me explain myself.
Yeah.
For example, like when it started, on the day the protest started, it started here in Abuja, and before you know what, in Kano, like you said, it should have been coordinated with one uniform purpose and everything. But what happened in Kaduna and Kano, for example, was not really a protest. It was just looting. They just went on looting rampage, because there was no coordinated group of people with demands. We just saw started hearing stories of people looting here, certain places on fire. So you cannot say that crowd was part of the end bad governance protests.
I see.
Because they did their protests peacefully in other places.
Yes.
So what happened in Kano was just people who already knew of the protest going to be held on that day, and they just fell under the cover of that movement and just started looting. Because honestly, I did not see any coordinated protest in Kano State, for example. It was just a looting parade. They just started looting and vandalizing stuff. That happened. And it was nearly the same thing in Kaduna State. But I don't know much about Kaduna. I was more focused on Kano State. Yeah.
But Abuja was precisely kind of peaceful. But Yobe also, you guys had an issue as well, isn't it?
Yeah, in Abuja, what happened in Abuja was in the city, inside the main city, the federal capital city, inside Abuja, there were pockets of, on my way I went around, so I saw pockets of protesters around Eagle Square with their placards, and they were protesting peacefully, although they had some clashes with police, who dispersed them with tear gas and other stuff, and they dispersed them. But they were outskirts of Abuja, places like Genya, Gwagwalada. They were kind of like a little bit of violence happened there.
Yeah.
In fact, the crowd were trying to move into the inner city, but they were prevented by security forces from reaching inside the inner city. which I believe was quite helpful, because if they had congregated in large numbers within the inner city,
there would have been a lot of destruction.
Yeah, if they had congregated in numbers, but from the main axis of the outskirts of the settlements that lie outside Abuja, the crowd had started coming towards the inner city, but they were dispersed by security forces and they were prevented from reaching the inside city. Although inside the city, there were pockets of protesters who also protested, and there was not really any major problem. Honestly, only just slight skirmishes between the security forces and them. And the way they said they were tear gassed and all that. So basically, that's what happened.
So right now, I was actually watching one of the clips. They're saying that I don't know how true it is, probably you guys will know, that there's a GoFundMe whereby they are looking for how many billion. The organizers of the protest are looking for billions of naira to be contributed. Is that true?
Billions of naira to be contributed to what? To the movement?
To the movement. But that's something I saw on social media. But I know that there's one of the organizers would have been part of us, maybe because of network, was not able to join us. But I didn't. Yeah. I don't know how true that was. And when I heard that, there's a clip going around that that is what is actually happening. The people that were circulating the clip did not show the name of the GoFundMe, didn't specify the name, but they said that there are about 3 or 4 accounts of GoFundMe that they're looking to get billions of naira to be.
Well, it won't be surprising, because I don't know about this, but it won't be surprising, because during the last NSAS protests that were held under Buhari administration, they were really funded, and there were verified reports of how funded they were. They got a lot of money for that specific protest. So it won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if such happens again, because there are people ready to fund movements like this.
Yeah.
In fact, the government has been accusing, saying it might be funded by foreign elements. There might be foreign elements.
Well, that's another thing. Coming to that, I was kind of shocked when we saw clips of quite a number of young people and even tellers, assembly of tellers, making a Russian flag in Kano, and I saw it in Kaduna. And I saw the flag in Kaduna, but I don't see but actually they showed where they were sewing the flag. How did that come about? How can RANCCAS, do you have a theory behind, or you are it? What happened? How did that come about?
Okay. Let me, before I go to that, I think in response to the first submission by my brother Harris, when he says that there is no strong coordination in the itemized objective of the protest, I can say that is as a result of weakness of the leadership of the protesters. Because as it stands, for me, I cannot specifically say this is the leader of the protesters. Initially, it was reported to be one of a friend and a brother whom we have struggled together and did a lot of things together with him, Murtala Gamji. I learned that he withdrew because of so many reasons. And another thing is I further learned that the former Minister of Youth and Sports, Barrister Solomon Dalon, is the leader. Another individual came about, which I saw on social media, claiming to be the leader of the movement. So you see now, you know now, whom are we going to consider as the leader? We organize a lot of protests.
Solomon Lalong, is it Dalong? Is it
Solomon? Yes.
He's been very, very active, it looks like.
Oh, okay. If he is active, then if we consider him to be the leader, then who are the coordinators
I'm not saying that.
No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
You said so, but if he is, then who are the coordinators in various states?
Yeah.
Who are the coordinators in various local governments? These are the things we should look into before we
So
even.
basically, how long did it even take for them to
Yes,
plan this
yes.
whole?
And another thing is, let me tell you something which is very, very important in any protest. Time.
Yeah.
Time is key. You said you're going to protest for 10 days. Then, from which time to which time are you coming out? Because you cannot say the whole day you will protest. Because once you say you're going to protest the whole day, then you cannot prevent hoodlums from joining you.
Yeah. It become a nuisance.
It become a nuisance. But if you said, okay, you are going to do it from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., then everybody will see you with your demand. You are starting from, let's say, Unity Fountain in Abuja, and from Unity Fountain you will march to the National Assembly and present your letter of demands to the senators or the House of Reps, which I have participated in so many that are of that type. So I think that aside, I think that is what make it. So on the issue of uh, young people you saw carrying a Russian flag, I also saw that, but I look at it. I do not have a clear explanation of why they are doing it actually, but from my perspective, you can see those that are going around with the flags are mostly the people from the northern state, which you mentioned Kaduna, Jos, and Kano. And invariably, if you are discussing with a layman or you are discussing with someone in the north, he or she would tell you Tinubu is pro-West or is pro-French and other related countries. And so, since he is pro-West or pro-French, and so since they don't like that, they will now probably think of finding another country that are not in good term with France. Then they can portray its flag to show their loyalty and submission to that particular country so that it will hurt him the most. Because one of the things you always do is to hurt your opponent, because it's like they're trying to make him get provoked. But I think in this regard, if we take it so serious, so it will be.
Yeah.
But if we take it lightly and find amicable way of resolving such, then it will be more better. But one thing we should all think about is who gave them the idea.
That was my next question. Alaji Harris, you that you are a journalist, when
Yes, ma'am.
Rankas was his case, I also want you to answer. Please finish that, Malan Rankas, please.
Okay. From
No,
my perspective,
let him finish his conversation. I just want you
oh,
to
yeah,
take
yeah.
that because we really want to. Yeah, go ahead, Rankas.
No, I think the issue is I tend to just to make some hypotheses which I can analyze at the end of the findings. That okay, how do they come to know about it? That is, I have to raise some research questions about it and try to answer the research questions. But honestly speaking, I cannot figure out the exact answer to the questions I raised. But notwithstanding, we are in a modern world today. A child of 15 years or 20 years might know something that you, as an elderly person, might not probably know.
Yes, true. And especially they are
And
into social media and all.
social media stuffs, and if you are discussing, like I say, I'm fully grassrooted. If you are discussing with people that are not that are anti-Tinubu's ideas, once he's out of the country, they will say he had to France.
Okay.
It's
So
the first thing. So and they tend to look at France as a country that always pollutes or deprive them their rights.
yeah.
You understand?
Do you
So
also share the same? Do you share the same um, way of thinking, Harris, as Rankas is explaining? Because
Well,
to me,
I think there's a broader perspective to all this Russian flag issue, which is very easily explainable from my point of view.
yeah.
For one, you know these neighboring countries, our neighboring Niger and Mali.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're under coup, they went through coup, and the coup leaders have started leaning towards Russia. In fact, it's they even called Niger, they called Russian troops to come into their country to help them fight insurgency that's been going on there. So there's a lot of traffic moving between Nigeria, Niger, and Mali. There's a lot of traffic due to trade, cattle, areas, and all that. So it's easy for the Afri because if you notice, this Russian flag issue happened only in the north,
Yes.
and there must be certain amount of interactions between northern people, like with these countries that have this anti-French. They were
Yeah.
colonized by
Yes.
French,
Yes. Niger.
by France. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, after the coup, they had this anti-French sentiment, and they were leaning towards Russia.
I
So
see.
definitely, somehow, they might rub off those kind of mentality towards the northern. Some of the northerners they interact with, and tell
Yeah.
them maybe your president is just going using capitalism, Russia, this and that. They might give them that idea, and from there they might just think to just uh, create those flags and do what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Although the federal government has stressed that action is traceable. I think they've arrested a few people over that particular incident. But I don't think it has any major conspiracy attached to it. It's just like Bashir said, they feel our president is pro West, so they feel if they use those flags, they will annoy him or just create some unnecessary drama, which they
Well,
did.
thank God the Russian government, I don't know how true it is, but I heard that the Russian government said they have nothing to do with it. They don't,
They said the Russian embassy declared that they had no hands in what happened. They are
which
not
is
part of it, and they did not support it, and they did not even support it. They did say
because I
that. I
was
remember.
there, I'm like, oh my God, what is this people? What are they thinking? Please. It is not that serious. We can talk to our president. Our president can listen to us. We don't need to. So when I heard the news that the Russian embassy or the extension of the government said they are not involved, they don't know anything that's going on, let them not be quoted, was wonderful. And then, so
Yeah.
my other question regarding, so I now heard, apart from people, I didn't even know that they were asking the president to step down, but I heard that they were demanding that they're now going to be recalling their senators and the House of Reps. How doable is that? How realistic? When we're talking about being constitution and the constitution is for us and we can do that, how realistic is that?
okay, is it me or Harris?
Any of you, please.
Okay.
I didn't get that.
So they were saying that, so I know that there will be a prayer that will be held this Saturday, right? A nationwide prayer. And regardless of what religion you worship, it's advisable to do that. And then after that, I think that there will be a dialogue, right, with the stakeholders. And if things are not being done, then they will use their constitutional rights to recall the senators and the House of Reps for not doing their jobs.
Yeah, I saw news about that, like article post on social media about measures to how to recall your senator, and I think that's a good measure. Like it shows like the populace are becoming more democratically aware of their rights, and it's democracy at work. if indeed they put that process into work for senators, for their representatives who they feel are not doing what they send them to do. So I think it's going to be a good development, because they will keep their representatives on their toes, if they know how to use. Because the major problem has been people letting their representatives do what they like without feeling any without paying the price for doing a bad job. So if people are becoming aware of processes like this, I think it's a good one. And it's only, you can say, it's democracy at work.
Accountability. So when they start getting that, you're right about that. I was thinking that they're bluffing, but how realistic can that be in under the Constitution of Nigeria? Is it possible? Would it be doable?
Is it the issue of recalling?
Yes.
Yes, I think to me, if that will happen, then I'm going to say we are, and that is what we should have done earlier than now, because instead of us vandalizing government properties, killing ourselves, and so many other things that might end up harming us, I think the best way is following the constitutional way of recalling the leaders. If we can do so, I have seen something like that in Yobe presently. Yobe South making a move in, I don't know how true it is, but I've seen a petition against some of their leaders, the senators and the House of Representatives. This will only stand the test of time when you provide necessary and facts that are genuine, that ought to recall the member. Because you just don't wake up overnight and say, I want you to come back without providing necessary reasons for that want me to be recalled back. You understand? So gradually I'm going to say, if that will happen, then this is an applause to Nigerians' democracy. This is an applause to even the northern region, because it is northern region that I can say the level of literacy is not as compared as the southern region. But if we can do that, then that is to say we are democratically enlightened, and that is the way to go about it.
True. So in regards to that is a great move. But right now, let's say this, I would want Harris is heading out to another engagement. Harris, quickly, can you answer this while we're finished with before you head out? So let's say all these demands is being granted, or some are given, some are not. But let's say the president now had called these protesters, or even everybody, which you, including you guys, you're also all youth. Say, okay, let's sit down. And I've heard you. What do you want? What do you have on the table? But how many would you think, from your angle as a reporter, obviously when you were on ground, you were asking these people, do you think these people that are shouting for end bad governance are ready to even give any concrete ideas to the government to help them get what the lifestyle they want, or what is rightfully theirs? Are they ready for anything that they can submit to the president at the moment?
Well, I believe the people, what they want right now, to see tangible results, something like a reduction in the price rise of nearly every good. Like, if people start seeing tangible results, prices going down, like the economy getting better, I think that will convince them to like sit down and dialogue with the government. But that cannot be an immediate result. So whatever is the case, I think the president has called on more dialogue. he called for people to sit down and give him more time,
Yeah.
saying he has just only spent a year on sit, and he called for more time and dialogue. So at least he has opened his doors for dialogue, which I feel the protesters can take advantage of to table their problems and find a way out, sit down and rub it instead of this mayhem that we witnessed within this last week. So I think, yeah, if the president offers that olive branch, the protesters should grab onto it and sit down with the government and talk with them, since they now have a channel of communication. Like, this is what we want. This is the people we represent. The people. This is what we want. This is what we demand for, and they should start seeing tangible. It all boils down to wanting tangible results.
Yeah.
People start seeing prices going down and the economy getting better. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think so too. I think but you know, a lot of people were saying that the response the president gave was not encouraging at all, and they feel that they haven't been heard. So where do they go from there if they feel that way? And then the president is feeling that he had done his part, but they're feeling that the president hasn't, because his response was not what they were looking for. You know, that is the issue now. Or has anything changed since after his address?
Well, the president insisted the fuel subsidy regime cannot be brought back again. He said it is devastating to the economy, but he only promised he promised more time, and he called for more time, which he said within that time, if he's given more time, things will get better. So I think it's just a play on time. If within the time he asked for, things do get better, I think they might start seeing an ease in the people's vexation. But in the meantime, I see, I don't know how it's going to end, because the protest has been called for 10 days, and so far we're in the tomorrow
I think Saturday will be 10th day, no?
Yeah, on Saturday will be the 10th day.
Yeah.
So we'll see what will happen before then. Right now, I can't predict anything.
But it has at least the destruction in Kano had stopped at least.
Yeah, it has stopped. Yeah, it has stopped. In fact, there have been arrests ongoing right now. There have been arrests, and some looted commodities have been retrieved back, because the police have been going house to house searching people's residencies for looted products, which some have been returned. I saw one shop owner; they got most of his things back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so they are getting they're getting the food back from the.
Well, yeah, they're getting some of the looted items back.
How are they even going to? How are they even get the food? The people have, except if they have gotten so many bags.
Yeah, no, not only food was looted. Electronics were looted.
I see,
TV, computers, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from what I know, I know this personally from my own area back in Kano. I saw pictures. The police entered inside the inner city, inside lanes, inside the inner city, house to house, searching houses for looted stuff, which they found some, and some they didn't. Yeah.
Well, to me, when they started this, the only thing that we were all afraid of was what really happened. Is that it will start peacefully, but there are some people with hidden agenda that are not, they don't care what happened. They were just hiding under the blanket of the protest to go and do create chaos. And unfortunately, I felt bad with someone that has his business, everything is destroyed, with a pharmacy, the whole medication, everything is gone. And I'm thinking that this is crazy, because these places they destruct are the places that is providing the little assistance they've been looking for. So now they're no longer, how are you going to do when you're sick and then the pharmacy is totally gone now? You don't have anywhere to go and get medication. So I know that you have another engagement. And in regards to the prayer on Saturday, is that people will there are certain areas that people need to go to do the prayer, or they can be in their home? They can, is there a place that they recommended people to go?
Well, for the Muslims, they usually do their prayers in congregation in the mosque. So
Okay.
they are that, and some Christians too. They might gather in some churches to do congregational prayers and pray for better solutions, better country, and an end to all this crisis. Yeah. So I think it's going to be congregational prayer. Yeah.
And I think I like the fact that people are, Nigeria is a God-fearing country. And then, like one of the gentlemen said, if we cannot be able to get it on our own, maybe then we should turn our to God for Him to help our leaders to see, well, what we want. Nigeria is too big to fail, and I think that the protesters, you had said their mind. I'm sure the government have seen or heard them. I think the important thing here is to really create, there's nothing that is can be achieved without a dialogue. And a dialogue without having the realistic goals is not something that can be achievable as well. So the protesters should have a realistic goal. In case that subsidy is not going to come, how about a way of creating jobs for them? So that way they can, maybe that's another angle. They can say, okay, subsidy is not going to come, but maybe if we get more jobs, we'll be able to, that's another thing. And also schools, all that. I'm sure that, and the government, looking at the list of things that the president had, introducing the student loan, that is also something that can help a lot of families. But the thing in the north is how do you access it? That is also where the problem is. Sometimes a lot of the people, it's not that all these subsidies are not available. It's just that we have such a huge pool of less exposed people to be able to take advantage of that. So maybe there has to be an awareness for people to be able to take advantage of that. Maybe the protesters, that's why I'm saying that, okay, let's say the president, this is what is the next step for the protesters? Because the president can say, okay, tomorrow I have this and that, but are they having a plan where they're having a lot of these youths around them to train, to access all these opportunities? Are they asking for something that they can also mobilize those people, because it can be given and you don't know how to access it, it will be gone, So I was hoping that one of the protesters organizers was supposed to, but I think it's network or something like that. He said having issues to log in. Those are some of the questions that I wanted really to ask some of them. But Malang Harris, you are in reporter. Please try to help us ask them for us. And anyway, where he is supposed to be in another engagement. Thank you so much for being with us. So
it's a pleasure being here. Sorry, the electricity went off. Sorry, I'm in darkness.
No worries. So when you are on the field, I think if you get any of those report organizers, if let's say assume that the president agrees and is trying to do, how are they planning to get all this youth that was with them to get access to what they are looking for? Because that is also very important. It's not about you telling the government to do something for you, and then when the government does it, you don't even know how to access it. Then it's as good as you are not having it, Because I saw some link of where they can do this, they can do that, they can apply here. Some of them don't even have a laptop or like a tablet. So how do they access to apply for those things online? And we have majority of them in the north where they are complaining there are no jobs, because a lot of the complaints, even though the country is all complaining, but the majority of the people that really honestly, because of the population, is in the north where they don't have jobs, no schools, they just, so let's say they're given that opportunity. Do they even have the computer to access the lab and sign up? Are they thinking of putting a center where they will help people do it? Those are some of the things that maybe we want to hear how they plan to make it better if the government agree to do most of the things they're asking. So what do you think, RANCCAS?
Yeah, this is something good, and that is how to go about it. But the issue is, when you were discussing with Harris, you said the issue of giving the government more time. Of course,
Yeah.
I am with that. I agree. We should give the government more time. But don't forget, the same protesters are saying, so they were deceived under Buhari, saying giving Buhari more time, giving Buhari more time until Buhari finishes 8 years without them seeing anything. So
Yeah.
if you look at the body language today in Nigeria, most of the youth are tired of giving the leaders more time. Honestly speaking, our leaders must stand up to their expectation, because they are getting, because honestly speaking, if you look at it very well and critically, you analyze that the Nigerians are no longer interested in giving their leaders more time.
Yeah,
And that
I think
is,
there's some people here that have really made some great comment. Usman M. Kaina said, may I come in, please? I would love to, but the programmer that's supposed to be doing this, I think he's having network issues, so he's not able to. Rufai, if you could add in Usman M. Kaina, he wants to be part of the conversation. And he said, what are the ways to enlighten the protesters to understand this, his agenda and the way forward? I think he would have been a great contributor to that.
oh no, I have his number. I can send it to him.
Yeah,
I
can you
can
send him the link?
Yeah, I will.
Yes.
What I'm saying, I want
Send him
to
the link while you're talking. Send him to link so he can come in.
Yeah.
So, and
Okay.
you have Rufai or Minus number?
Yes, I do. So what I'm saying basically is this, that Nigerians are no longer interested in giving more time to their leaders. And so that is when you see a situation where things have started to reach that level, then that is to tell you that anything can happen. Anything can happen. And so leaders need to be very skeptical in discharging their duties and do the needful to the from the bottom of their heart. Let them serve Nigerians, let them serve the people they are representing truly and honestly, because that is the way forward. And another thing I wanted to add is this. The issue of vandalizing government properties is not a disease of the northern region alone.
No,
when the NSAS protest occurs, most of the people that participated in the NSAS, hello, are you with me?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, you see, okay, the issue of vandalizing government properties or stealing does not only end in the northern region of Nigeria. Okay, let me give you an example. When NSAS protests come on board, the protesters, some of the hoodlums join the protest, and at the end of the day vandalize government silos, government properties, and snatch away. We have seen even some group of people that took a tractor that is supposed to be in the farm. They were pushing it. You understand? And
the police, I saw the police. I saw the one where they took the police.
Yeah. So anything you can see. So there are protesters during the NSAS, which was not successful per se, but they have to use intelligence to come up with an idea that it later on yield a result, because the SARS was renamed or rearranged or whatever name you can give it.
Yeah.
If you look at it in the other region, the southeastern part of Nigeria, that there are some people that are also protesting for the IPOB and the likes and other people. But what does it end in? It is ending not yielding positive result.
It is a lot of people.
I'm trying to say, like, okay, they did all this screaming. At the end of 10 days, because you don't have any agenda, that you yourself can say, okay, this is doable. This is what we need, you know?
And that is what I told you from the initial of our discussion,
yes,
that you need to set a goal, achievable goals, before you even start a protest. Okay, I led a protest. I led about 4 or 5 protests in my life, or more than. But all the protests I led, the police officers were there with me, the road safety were there with me. In fact, the civil defense were there with me, and I have given a clear terms or reference of where I will stand. I will take the letter to His Royal Highness, the Emirate, the Emir of my hometown. I will take the letter to the chairman of my local government with my specific demands.
So you think they didn't do that? You think that these protesters didn't do that?
Okay, have you seen any?
Well, I was thinking that for them to be able even to be allowed.
Okay, there are some. The issue is, you know, when you took, there are some that have done so. There are some that have done so. But you know, you have to be very, you have to set the time you do everything. I will start this thing in 1 hour, I will finish it. So anybody that is joining after 1 hour is not part of me.
I see.
You understand?
Yes.
So you have to do it in a smart way. Because the longer you took in a protest, the riskier it becomes.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
I hear you. That is why you were saying that it's important for them to have time that they do it. And
good.
Yes.
Good. And another thing I'm saying is why this one, I want to say it, about so many years back, I conducted, and some of our colleagues, myself and some of the team, we formed a team and conducted a research on the issue of out-of-school children. We in our recommendation, we come up with something that we all as stakeholders need to stand up to our expectation and educate our children.
Yeah.
You see, I learned that in one of the town, some of the people that were believed not to be part of the peaceful protesters went into library, they broke the library, and nobody took a book. Nobody took a single textbook.
But
all of them
go and break it.
Yes, they just took chair, they took fridge, they took iron, and what they will go and sell. That is to tell you they don't know the value of even the textbooks around.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is to tell you how dangerous the future will be for us if care is not taken.
That is, to be honest with you, when I saw those children, because to me they are children. Some of those kids are like 12 years old. Carrying those sticks. It reminded me of the you know, the soldier, the child soldier in Sierra Leone. It's kind of how I like, literally, it could turn to that. Because we might be thinking this is a joke, it's done, and then it is. I think both sides need to really sit down and think. Parents should sit their children down and educate their children that this is not the way to go, and also leaders also need to listen to them, no matter how crazy we think they are.
You see, Ma, what is going on in Nigeria is scary. Why am I saying it's scary? Is because a child will come to you and probably beg you for what to eat.
Yeah.
Okay? if you didn't give the child that thing, or you didn't give him the food, probably you are not in position to give.
Yeah.
Do you know how emotionally he would define you?
A mean person.
Yeah, that is it. And so you continue to, and these are the type of children that if care is not taken, at the end of the day, as a result of our loyalty to the cultural and some values, we tend to fall a victim of all these type of things. Okay, when you know just very well, when there was this, have you ever seen a child, let's say from Rayfield area, participating in stealing people's property or what have you? You cannot see somebody from all the people that are participating are our people from Rikos, from Gangare, from Angorogu. When you go to Kano, they are our children in region Lemu, region Anguanwane, the Dausai Kaza, all these things.
I understand, but don't you think because they don't have, that is why? Maybe?
No. Literally, education in northern Nigeria is literally free. Yeah. It's literally free. So it is the duty bounded on all the stakeholders, be it the parent, be it the religious leaders, be it whoever. We need to go back to the way our parents were living before. Yeah. We need to allow people to take responsibility of our children and tell them, look, this is good and this is bad. I am a young person, but I can still remember that there are people around that they can beat me or they can tell me this is what I can do and I will still do it and my father will not frown at it.
Yeah, not anymore. Now they will tell you.
Not anymore now. If you try to correct a child, the father or the mother may probably took you to before you know, to human rights or to police station. And that is part of the thing that is disturbing. I'm trying to be specific in this. I want to call on all the leaders in all the regions that we shouldn't take this for granted. We shouldn't for granted. Let's take it as a very serious issue, even if it's going to be the project, your constituency project as a leader to tackle the issue of education, then do that, please.
So as an educator, right now, RANCCAS, if you are to advise both the protesters and also for the stakeholders in the community, from the community leaders, the religious leaders, the representatives, the governors, the central government, local government, all of that, and state, what is the way forward with just what happened? Because I honestly don't feel this is the end of it. For me, I feel this is the beginning of the tip of the iceberg. You know what I mean? That is like there is more to come if things are done differently. Because those people were fearless, angry, and didn't even care. That is what was so scary.
Okay. If I may advise, I would advise everybody to stand up to his or her expectation as a stakeholder in a community. Let us take community activity as a duty bounded on all of us to do it. Our parents that engage in community activities, it was informal, but that is the true community activities that we need today.
Yeah.
Our political leaders should learn to make use of our youth in a positive way. They should reduce giving our youth more hope without actualizing the hope. because expectation can lead to so many things in life.
Even having hope alone can gain you other,
yes,
other things along the way while you wait for that.
Let me give you an example. If you say the people that protesters are people that are not with the president, or they are with the opposition party or whatever, I disagree with whoever that will say that. I would disagree with that, because you can even find some of the people that are within the party, probably, or within that are with the president, or that are within the system of government, but probably not happy with the way things are going, can go beyond the back door and probably be part of this type of things, just to destabilize the system.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? So that is why I am trying to be very skeptical on not putting a blame to either the opposition or whatever, until and unless.
So what you're saying, to be honest, things are not going right, and that's the truth. And but this thing, to be honest, I mean, we were having banditry, we were having the gentleman was saying earlier that you cannot go farming. This had been happening for the past 8 years.
Okay, mommy. All this issue of banditry, all this issue of whatever it is as a result of poor governance.
Yeah.
I'm not supporting all these activities, because it is very, very bad, it is barbaric, it is uncalled for, it is condemnable. However, we as stakeholders, including myself, should have a role to play.
Yeah.
You as a mother has a role to play. My neighbor has a role to play. Leaders has a role to play. But we are good in just blaming our leaders or whatever, or our religious leaders or whatever. But everybody is a stakeholder, so long as you are opportune to have what it takes, even if you are not educated through the Western means or whatever, you didn't go to formal education or whatever, but if you are a businessman, you can help on your own little way. If you are a malam, you can help in your own little way. You may remember on those days, the malams that used to teach us our religious these things, they can even go house to house to pick the children and come and gather them. You see hundreds of children around the malam teaching them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is part of community.
But now they have them, and they some of them are used to go and beg on the street and bring to the malam. What do you say to that? No, but some of them, but that you have
I'm from the north, and so I'm trying to be very skeptical on the issue of the Almajiri education because of the cultural belief and so many things. But
but you
what
see,
I
would, it's
but
not
what I would say in essence, the system we are practicing in the Almajiri system of education, is that the same system you or myself got? If yes, then fine. If no, then let's go back then, because I know then an Almajiri who used to come from Zaria, who happens to be our neighbor, he used to come even with his foodstuffs.
Yeah.
You understand? I know literally after.
Yes, they used to bring in every community there's a malam, so you go there, they teach you, you come back home at night to your family.
Yeah. That is because coupled with because life goes with the changing situation. You cannot stick to one system and say it must work for you. Coupled with the insecurity now, coupled with the way people have spoiled themselves, now take a look at the issue of gender-based violence, protection, and so many things. A child will go for an almajiri, or a child in your presence. People have gone to the extent of spoiling people's children who are 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Let's not even go there. Like,
You know, a lot of things. We have seen a lot of things. This is when the child is with you, in your presence. People are digging into your house to spoil your child. What if you took the child away from you 300 kilometers?
Only God knows.
Only God knows.
How many kids are missing? How many? It's just a mess. So, what in a nutshell, what we would pray after this Saturday prayer is that God warrants everybody an understanding that this country must work. If it is going to work, there must be changes to be made on both sides. There must be changes in leadership. There must be changes in the stakeholders, from the parents, the community leaders, to the children themselves.
Yes.
And like you said, in some communities, education has to be re-emphasized if it is not even emphasized. If it is emphasized, if it is not emphasized, then we need to now focus on that. If it is jobs, people don't have to wait to get a job from some major corporation or government. Start small. Start small. Learn a skill. Learn to buy and sell.
Mommy, when you were saying this, I know of a woman. I know of a woman who came from, I think, Calabar, in one of the south states. 2 years ago, her husband gave her 5,000 naira to start a business. She bought bottled water, pure water, and find a place somewhere in Kano that she is selling it. Last 2 months, I was discussing with her. I said, I'm pleased the way you are running your business. She told me that she bought this container 350,000 naira. And she has a stock of Maltina, Coke, and other soft drink worth about 300,000 naira. That is commitment.
But the thing is that in the north, we don't even allow the women to do anything. Most of the households.
No, mommy. Things have changed now. Things have changed.
I hope so. No, I know some people that up till now they will not allow, and even if they're newly married, they don't want to allow. So even and you marry people that are educated, graduates and all, okay, you don't even want her to go and work somewhere, which there are no job anyway, but find a business for her to do, Yes,
even if it is a small business at home.
Yes, at home. Let her learn a skill she can do at home. There's so many different things that a woman at home can learn to do at home. So many things, This sewing children clothing at home could be another business, The other day, we were talking with one of my guests. I said, even fixing torn clothes. Now when your clothes are torn, you can't even find a tailor that will do that. Is a business being neglected. So imagine you learn to fix torn clothes, and every time you fix their torn clothes, you are paid 500 naira. Do you know how many people will hear about you and be coming? Before you know it, you can't. You have to hire other people to help you do it. So you look at people don't even want to do, and then try and do it because don't want to do, but there's a need for it. You know.
Yes. Yeah. We need to look for virgin areas and leverage on.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Well, Ranccas, we have gone beyond. I pray for a peaceful resolution in Nigeria, because you know Nigeria is our country. We can't replace it. There's nothing like it, and a crisis is everywhere. And I know that we will come through shining. And we pray for our president to listen to his people and help us have a prosperous country, and for the people to also give the president an opportunity and the support for him to do right by them. And we hope that the other stakeholders also join in to do what is right. So I thank you, everybody, and I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful end of protest and a very peaceful National Prayer Day on Saturday. We will be joining you from here to do the prayers for the betterment of our entire country and obviously humanity. Thank you and have a good night. Bye.